since we've been here, since we've done business together, we've come across a lot of personalities at a lot of different studios, and it's always seems like the people hanging outside always want to come ask you for money, and then whenever you don't have it or you don't want to give it to them, they suddenly get real disrespectful, get real aggravated, start cussing you out, talking to you crazy.
Yeah.
So I just want to understand, why is that? Why are these people acting so crazy over a few dollars?
Well, I don't know. I think what gets me is the fact is, like, they assume that we have money in our pocket. Mm-hmm. Like, they assume that we have something to give. A lot of times they don't know our situation as far as like what I'm actually going through and why I'm not in a position to actually give them anything. And any little change that I may have, I'll give you a few pieces of change or whatever. Some get mad at you doing that.
Yeah.
You know, like you didn't give them enough or you got more than that type of stuff. And I just don't understand, how do you get so ornery when you're living on the street?
Yeah.
Like, I just saw, like, this guy, they say he's like a comedian or something like that. But he was walking outside the store, and the lady came up to him, I guess asked for some money or something, and said to him, like, "Don't get smart with me, nigga."
Ooh.
And he was like, "What?" So he put on blast on his channel or whatever, saying, like, this is the person who called me a nigga and stuff like that. And it was, like, crazy because this person's in a worse position than him, but has the nerve to try to talk down to him like he's less than. It's crazy, man. Like,
yeah.
the amount of disrespect a lot of those people have that's on the street, like you owe them something.
Yeah.
Like, I caused your life to be in that position. Every decision that we all make is going to define where we're going to be in life, but you can't blame others for your situation if you know that you were mainly the cause of it. A lot of times we're mainly the cause of it. We may not want to take responsibility for those actions of what caused this situation, like from the drugs and, you know, the alcohol abuse and things like that can cause you to make bad decisions and lose money and not be in a good financial position. That's a me choice.
Yeah. That's
something that you chose. So if a person look at you as if they don't have it, you can't get mad at that. I that's what I believe, because, like I say, it's your own choice of why you're in this situation in the first place.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I look at it like it's not my responsibility. It's not my responsibility to pay for your stuff, because I know some dudes out here, they'll say, "Hey man, I got a lady up the street lets me do laundry for like $3 at their house," and I'm just trying to go up to this Williams and get, like, I've had several people, they'll say, "Hey, I'm going up to Williams to get thing of chicken, costs like $3.50. You give them $3.50, and then they turn around and they turn right back and say, "Hey man, there's this lady up the street that lets me do her laundry. I just need another $2." And they'll sit there and try to hustle like $5, $7, $10 out of you just in change. And they'll sit there and they'll try that, and they'll sit there and they'll talk to you. They'll tell you stories. They'll really try to work the situation, and then when you tell them no, all of a sudden, don't want to talk to you anymore. We're done. Fuck you. I'm out.
Yeah. But that's just like, I was getting gas at this Shell over there by the house, and the guy came up on me, and, you know, I don't know if people use the same story, but he was like, "Yeah, my wife and kids in the car. We stopped. We was out of town, and we just need a couple of dollars to get some gas so we can go where we going," and stuff like that. And it was like, the lie just started getting to a point. I saw this guy like 3 times in that same area, asking with the same lie that I saw him the first time I was over there. And I was just like, man, this is like ridiculous. Like, why do people think that it's okay to go do that? Like, instead of, like, especially if you're able-bodied, like, you have people that be on the streets asking for money that actually have an able body, and you're like, wow, why are you not trying to find work? Mm-hmm. And I knew a guy who actually was homeless, who lived on the street, and he said that most of the people that's out there want to be out there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like, that was crazy to me. Like, I didn't understand, like, where he was coming from, but I guess that because he's the type of person who like to be argumentative. I don't know if you ever met the guy, but he was cool, but he thought he knew everything. Mm-hmm. So when I would talk to him or he would come by, because I never treated him any different when he was on the street or when he wasn't. But just when I would talk to him, I knew that he felt like he knew everything. Like the first time I met him, he was like, I'm going to be a millionaire next year. Yeah. And I used to be like, well, what are you going to do to actually become a millionaire? It's good to say it, because I think the misconception about saying something, people think it's going to happen because they said it. They don't actually put in the work to get it. They just want it to just happen for them. So then they may do a little bit of work or put some little bit things together, and then if it doesn't happen, they go right back into the same cycle of, well, forget it. I know I'm good. People don't know what they talking about, or they don't know what this is going on. And I don't know, man. It's just crazy, because just to get to the point of where you're living on the street has got to be something that just really take you to a different place. So I can't understand it, but I just feel like it's kind of rude that some would just assume that just because I don't have it to give to you, like I'm just lying to you or something. Yeah. And I haven't done anything to you. Yeah. Like, I don't even know you. Like most of the people who walk around over here, they get mad when you tell them no.
They do. They don't take no very well.
Yeah, they get mad. Like they want to fight you. They sizing you up. They walk by you and stuff.
They look to see what you have. They're already checking in your car to see what you got in your car, to see if there's anything in there that they can use. And they're checking to see whether or not they can try you, to see if they can take your shit. Like you already have that feeling when they're walking up. They'll walk up to you, won't say shit, look you up and down, and then come look in your car. Yeah. Like they're going to come look in your car and shit and walk right by it like you're not noticing.
Like I didn't see anything you just did. Yeah. I see that all the time, man. But, I try to ignore some of it just because I don't want to get caught up into just assuming somebody trying to do harm or trying to do bad. But it's hard not to sometimes, the way they walk up on you. Yeah. Yeah, the way they walk up on you. Like, it was one guy, we was trying to get in the building that day, you remember, and he just kind of stood at the door, and I was just like, I know this dude. It's not finna just sit at this door. And so when we locked the door and everything, he looked at us like, he was like, F y'all, and then burnt out.
Yeah, like, y'all ain't gonna let me in? Yeah. Like, we're just supposed to let you in, bro. Nah, we ain't letting you in.
So it was just crazy, man. I just think that as I grow older, I just don't like the feeling of being uncomfortable. Mm. I think that makes me feel uncomfortable when they come around and they get angry at something that I can't even control myself.
Yeah. And then they also just assume because you're not on drugs that you're doing so much better financially, and that may not even be the case. You may just look cleaner. You might just have like clothes that aren't all worn and shit because you don't spend your money on drugs. Yeah. So,
but I don't even know if some of them even on drugs. Some of them just maybe just homeless and expecting you to give them something. Yeah. Because a lot of them don't even want to work. Like, they don't want to have a job. Because, like I said, majority of the people that come up to me, they're able bodies. And I just be trying to figure out, like, why haven't you decided to do anything? There's people that will pay you to cut their grass. There's people who will pay you to, like, do their landscaping and stuff like that. There's things you can do where you don't have to actually go get a job. Yeah. It's just things out here that I know you could do that you don't actually have to get a job.
Yeah, yeah. And you can tell because there's some people that are on drugs that actually have no problem working. Like, they have a great work ethic, and some of them are still even homeless, but they don't have a problem with money. Like, they don't have a problem getting money. They don't have a problem going and finding a job just around the neighborhood that they can do for somebody for a little bit of change. And I would be more willing to give somebody change for some work than just coming up and asking. Like, kind of like those dudes, like, back in the day up at the car wash, you'd throw them a couple extra, you'd throw them some extra dollars and shit just to, like, wash your rims or wash your car or whatever, but they earn that shit. They're out there all day fucking... Yeah. They're out there all day trying to make that money.
Trying to make some money. So, it seems like, and some of them make pretty good from that. Yeah. Some of them make pretty good from that to where they can find them a place to lay their head that night. Yeah. And stuff like that. So, I mean, it just depends. But I just feel like I'm not comfortable with some of that. I mean, I'm okay with it. It don't bother me that you ask, but it's just how you ask and then how you react if I tell you I don't have it.
Yeah.
I think that's where I get like,
Yeah, same here. I had this one dude over in Deep Ellum one time come knock on my window. I was sitting in the parking lot over at the Cafe de Brazil, over in that little $2 parking.
Yeah.
And I was waiting on my friends to get down there. We're about to go, I think, like, go to one of those little bars down there, get something to eat or something. And this dude walks up to me, and he starts banging on my window. I don't even see him until he starts banging on the window. And he was banging on my window, and he was a pretty big dude. Like, he definitely was able-bodied. Definitely looked like he was, like, he was definitely homeless. I couldn't tell if he was on drugs or not. But he banged on my window, and I was like, oh, no, man, I'm good. I don't have it. Excuse me. But I was like, I don't have it. But he kept banging on my window. And he's like, man, I ain't no crackhead. Open up that window. And I'm like,
really? And then you think that's gonna make me open my window?
Yeah, right. Being all aggressive and shit. I did though. I rolled the window down. I was like, what's the deal? What do you want? And he's like, man, I'm a military vet. He showed me his like paperwork.
Yeah.
He told me like where he was stationed. Like he gave me all his like information and shit. Pretty much showed me his military ID and all that. And basically all he wanted was like he just wanted like $10 so he could fucking go like somewhere to stay. And then I gave him the $10, and when I gave him the $10, he started giving me advice on my business and shit because he saw the camera and he saw everything in the car. And he asked me what I did. I said that I had a video business. He's like, why don't you blow your name up all over this motherfucker? You should have your company name here and here. And he just started pointing at buildings and billboards and my car and like other people's cars. And I'm like, yeah, bro, that's great. That's the goal. That's the plan. But you gonna pay for it? You gonna pay for my advertising?
Yeah.
But it's funny because sometimes like those dudes, like you think they're gonna be a pain in the ass. And then sometimes it goes the other way, and you end up having like somewhat of an intelligent conversation, or or they might try to give you advice on something or whatever.
I mean, I will say this: I've had some weird experiences with some, but I had one guy. He didn't want anything from me. I was having a bad day. It was really, really, really a bad day, and I went to the beer store to grab me a beer. And normally I'll just jump in my car and just burn. But this day was a little different. The guy came and asked me, he said, man, if you have a couple of dollars for a beer, man, that'll be nice. I was like, yeah, man, I'll go buy you a beer. I'll go buy you one. Let's go buy one. So we bought the beer. And we get back outside, and I remember he stopped me. He said, hey, man, God put this on my heart to pray for you. That was a really crazy moment because we was in the parking lot with this guy who didn't have half of the things that I had in my life was praying for me.
Yep.
So that's why I don't really look down on them. I just hate that how some of them are.
Yeah.
That was one of the weirdest but most fulfilling times I had having to deal with one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's good, man. That's good.
Yeah. So.
And I've there's a little bit of man. It's hard to say because I used to work maintenance down at Dallas Life over at the homeless shelter, and there's all kinds of people in there. There's people that are like the ones we were talking about that are kind of like little off and like belligerent, and they get aggressive with you. And then you got people in there that are just single moms, single dads with their kids, just trying to get a job, trying to get back on their feet. A lot of them went through like nasty divorces, and they got nowhere to go.
Well, some don't have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hard to tell which ones are actually real and which ones are just out there because they don't want to do anything.
Yeah, no, it is hard to tell. And then the ones that are really trying, it makes it even harder for them because there's a stigma behind homelessness, and there's a stigma. It's associated a lot with mental health, and a lot of people are looked at like they're crazy when really they're just homeless, you know. And
Yeah.
some people are crazy, some people are not, and it's really just all about who you deal with and what your experience is with them. But yeah, man, it's just all about who you deal with, man, because there's a lot of people that don't really have a lot that are very wise and they have a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, and you can learn a lot from them. And even as simple as somebody praying for you, that's huge. Like, he didn't have to do that.
He didn't have to do that.
Yeah. He could have taken that beer and he could have walked off, but he genuinely cared and he wanted to take a moment to.
He took a moment,
sit down with you,
and that was crazy. But
yeah,
like I say, man, I don't know. I just wish that some wouldn't act the way they act, because you don't know where I'm going, what I'm going through, or where I am in my life at that time, and why I'm not able to actually help.
Yeah.
But you know, don't want to get sentimental, but yeah. That'd be our show.
Yep.
And subscribe to the channel, people. And please hit that like button. And you know who I am. I'm Kel.
And I'm Jake.
And you have been kicking it with Kel and Jake. Peace.